रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्धना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वयभट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यं नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रम् अकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। वेदेषु पौरुषं सूक्तं धर्मशास्त्रेषु मानवं भारते भगवद्गीता पुराणेषु च वैष्णवं। नमस्सदसे नमस्सभायै। With the benign blessings of Paramatma, Shriyapati, we have had the opportunity to briefly discuss Purusha Suktam. Some of them may have the opinion that we have discussed this in detail. In fact, it is not so. We have just superficially discussed. What did we discuss? Because this is happening in installments and there is no regular gap between the installments. I have to keep giving a quick refresher to what has happened before. This is actually a reminder to me, not to you all. I'm sure many of you will remember the contents. Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam. Amongst the various hymns, mantras, portions in the Vedas, Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam. Purusha Suktam is deemed the best. It doesn't mean the others are not good or lesser good. Nothing of that sort. The reason is Purusha Suktam is found in all the four Vedas, which is a rarity. I've given this example to you, I think in the first or the second lecture. Appaya Dikshita, who was born as Vinayaka Subramanyam, was a prolific poet. He was a great devotee, a great theologist, and a good philosopher too. It is very tough to get all this combination. It is a beautiful combo. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, Paramashiva, Mahadeva. And one of the portions which is often recited to venerate Mahadeva is Sri Rudram, called Shatarudriyam, with 11 Anuvakams. And then it is followed up with another portion called Chamakam. So there is Namakam and there is Chamakam. Namakam is also called Rudram or Shatarudriyam. Appaya Dikshita was born into a clan of Samaveda Shakhis. So he was a Samavedi. So he will generally have his Upanayanam in and around that Vinayaka Chaturthi time. That is Samavedi. But he repented a lot. Oh, why am I born into Samavedam? Had I been born into Yajurvedam, I would have learned Sri Rudram. What stops him from learning Sri Rudram? The simple rule that you have to learn your Swashakha first. If you are born into Samavedam, you have to become a scholar, an expert in Samavedam, and then go to the next Vedam. See, if you have taken up electrical engineering, you cannot take some courses of computer science and say, I'll give up electrical engineering. Finish your 4 years of electrical engineering. And if your college or if your syllabus allows you to take up courses of the other branches as electives, do it. First, do your degree first. So that is the rule. So Rudram is such a beautiful portion, but in its entirety, it is found only in the Yajurvedam. But Purusha Suktam is different. Even if you are born into Sama Vedam, there is a Purusha Suktam there. If you are born into Atharvana Vedam, there is a Purusha Suktam there. So Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam. So for this Purusha Suktam, which is Antargata, found in Rigvedam, Shukla Yajurvedam, Krishna Yajurvedam, Sama Vedam and Atharvana Vedam. There are 5 acharyas who have commented upon. I keep on telling these names time and again. Sayana Acharya, Bhattabhaskara, Mahidhara Acharya, Uvata Acharya and Rangaramanuja Muni. These are the 5 commentators to Purusha Suktam. And we have had the opportunity to go mantra wise. The explanation for every word there and what is told by the commentators too. So the first one is Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasrakshaha, Sahasrapat, Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva, Atyatishthad Dashangulam. So it indicates also the Almighty, the Paramatma, the Bhagavan, and then the Srishti Kramam. So that is what we have discussed. In that it says, the first mantra says that the Lord is Sarva Vyapi. How does he pervade every bit of space? Through his eyes. His eyes indicate that he can see everything everywhere. Sahasra Shiras. What does Shiras indicate? It indicates the substratum, the one that holds the eyes. So it holds the universe too. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasrakshaha, Sahasrapat. He walks along with you everywhere. So he is there everywhere. Trailokyameta Dakhilam. Narasimha Garbham says Vedanta Deshika. He is there everywhere. Sahasrapat. Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishthad Dashangulam. However big you construe the universe, he is there in every bit of it. Is he there within the smallest of the small? Yes. Is he bigger than the biggest of the big? Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. So, Atyatishthad Dashangulam. So it talks about his pervasiveness, his ability to pervade through space. Space is? What is the word in Sanskritam? Akasham. What is Akasham? Wrong. Stand up on the bench. Space. The previous question had that answer. I asked what is space, right? That's okay. So, Atyatishthad Dashangulam. So, he pervades over space. But we have to map any event based on space and time. So, the next mantra talks about his pervasiveness as per time. Purushaye Vedagum Sarvam, Yad Bhutam, Yadcha Bhavyam. So, he is the present, he is the past, he is the future. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhuhu, says Vishnu Sahasranamam. So, Utamritatvasya Utamrit, Amritatvasya Uta, Amritasya Ishanaha, the one who is the Lord for Amrita. Amrita here means moksham. Then, Yadannenati rohati annam. Annam in the normal sense means rice. Aticha, atyacha. Annam also means Jivatma because the Bhogya Vastu is Jivatma. So, Yadannenati rohati. Can you describe his greatness? The third mantra says, no, his greatness is also infinite. Yetavanasya mahima atodjaya gischa purushaha. Who is that great person whom we are talking about? It is a person called Purushaha. Purusha that we are talking about. Next, Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. Now, in the normal sense, Pada means quarter. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Divi. In the previous mantra, I said there is a meaning for the word Amrita. What is it? So, as per Agama Shastram, as per the Vedanta Marga, we believe that the Jivatma goes to a certain abode. We say Vaikuntha Padam Praptirastu, or he either Acharyas will bless that way, or that person must have got Paramapada, which is Vaikuntham. See, it is a very tricky thing these days. I'll tell you why. Yes. People say that the one who doesn't believe in God is called Nastika. Correct. In English, atheist. Forget English word for a minute, because atheist, we don't know what it is. Then there is another word called theist. If there is an atheist, there has to be a theist. So if atheist is Nastika, then theist is Astika. Correct. But there is a problem here. We don't construe a person who doesn't believe in God as Nastika alone. You have to be very, very careful. See, you're a very niche, content-oriented, content-believing audience. It is different when I give for a larger forum where there are 1,000 people. I talk about Ramayana, Mahabharatam, maybe in a fashion that is very, very relatable, understandable, enjoyable, singable, danceable, all this fashion. But this is a Purusha Suktam audience. So Purusha Suktam audience have to be clear in certain fundamentals. Nastika is not an atheist. Underline this line. Now some of them will be enjoying in Tamil Nadu. See, we told you, we are not atheists. Correct. Because they may be atheists, but they are not Nastikas. Because, for a Nastika, you should have studied the Vedas. That is the basic qualification. Now, be a Nastika also. See, for example, if I say I don't like chemical engineering, I'm telling you something. What should I do? I should have studied chemical engineering. Correct. If people say, do you like chemical engineering? No. Have you studied? No. Then how will I not like? You're able to get let's go logically. To dislike something, I say, Swami, nange ivarandre ishta agalla. Oh, nimge gotta? Illa gottilla. So you should have learnt the Vedas to reject the Vedas and its content. You're able to get the qualification first, because people often confuse. So he doesn't believe in God, so he's a Nastika. No, he doesn't believe in God, it's fine. But he's not a Nastika, because Asti Shabdeti, Asti means there is. Okay. To say there is, what is there is? For which there are three rules which have time and again been debated by Acharya Varyas. First, you have to reject the Vedas. That is the first rule of a Nastika. For which you should have studied the Vedas. That is the prerequisite. Get this line very correct. The prerequisite is you should have studied the Vedas. Then you have to reject the Vedas. Because to even debate, you should know what you're rejecting. First rule, you should reject the Paramatma mentioned in the Vedas. Second rule. See, I can agree to the Vedas, but I will reject the Ishvara Tattva, Paramatma in it. Were there people like that? I've told this. No. No. Listen to this very carefully. You should have accepted the Vedas, the authenticity of the Vedas, but you should have rejected the Paramatma mentioned in the Vedas. Very good. Who said that? Purva Mimamsaka is the answer. So, see, there are three levels. First level, you should have accepted the Vedas. Purva Mimamsakas accept the Vedas, but they reject Paramatma. They will do all yajnas. Remember, they will look very normal like any rishi doing a yajna. They will do yajna, they will do yaga, but they will not accept Paramatma. So if you go ask them, sir, you are doing a yaga, who is giving the phalam for that yaga? There should be someone who grants. I write an examination, it should be an evaluator, right? So I do a yaga, somebody should give me phalam. They'll say, no, the yaga itself will give the phalam. So they believe that yaga, that process itself, is a sentient entity. It is a chetana, they believe. So they believe that the yaga itself will grant the phalam. Were there examples of it in Srimad Bhagavatam? There is one small portion. That is why I keep telling this to my discerning audience. There is no big prestige in telling that, oh, I don't believe in all these, the Itihasas, the Puranas, the Yam, the Varun, the Vayu. I believe in Gita. And I believe in the Upanishad. I don't know whether to laugh, cry. I meet so many such people. It takes so long to explain. I give up. I say, you do whatever you want. See, the point is, Itihasa Purana Bhyam Vedam Samupabrahmayet. They're all linked. By reading Ramayana, it doesn't mean you are one grade lower, and by reading Bhagavad Gita, you're not one grade higher. The one who spoke the Gita is Krishna, whose greatness is spoken in Bhagavatam. How can Bhagavatam be one step lower? Who are we to first of all grade? How is it some coffee shop? In coffee shop, earlier when you used to get a coffee powder, he'll say, you want that premium coffee? You want it with chicory? Who are we to get inside the library and say that Bhagavatam is 2 notches lesser than Gita? No. All are equally important. Gita is kind of special because Krishna spoke it. It is Krishna's words. Agreed. I'm not in denial of that. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna along with his friends go to the forest by the banks of river Yamuna. Simple incident. The boys say, we are hungry. And Krishna says, there is a small habitat close by where rishis who are the descendants of Angirasa Gotram. You know how the word Angirasa came into? Any idea? That Angirasa Shabdam, Angara Shabdam. You know what is Angara? Coal. Hot charcoal. So it is believed that his life history is intertwined with charcoal. So Angaram. So Angara. So Angirasa. So Angirasa. Angirasa means descendants of Angirasa. For example, Bharadwaja, Brihaspati, they are all treated as descendants. Now Krishna said, go to that habitat. There are many rishis who are performing the yagam. They would have kept some prasadam for the yagam, because you generally offer some prasadam in the yagam itself. Ask them for food, they'll give you. These boys went and told, Krishna says, give us food. First of all, these men asked, who is Krishna? We don't believe. No, Krishna says give it. We don't believe in giving all this. We are doing for the sake of yagam. Yagam will grant us the phalam. So the point is, they had yagam in front of them, and Paramatma is asking for the prasadam directly. But they said, we will not give to Paramatma because the purport is we don't believe in Paramatma. Then Krishna, what he does intelligently is, he tells, go to the wives of these Vipras. Now the boys go in the backyard. And then they knock at the backyard door and say that Krishna asked for food. These women said, we were waiting for this call all these days. We wanted to see Krishna. And they give the prasadam to these boys and they go see Krishna. What is the moral? The moral is the husbands were Purva Mimamsakas. Wives were all Uttara Mimamsakas. Uttara Mimamsaka means you have to believe in the Yagam and Paramatma. So, in the same family, husband will vote for one party, wife will vote for the other party. Same thing. Whoever has received benefits, they will vote that way. So, here we have Astika Nastika Bhedam. Nastika, I think the volume has to still, somehow it has come down again. So, the Nastika has to not believe in the Vedas, not believe in Paramatma. Third point, they should not believe in the abode, that Vaikuntham that the Jivatma is going to reach. If you ask where is Paramatma, they'll say he is within us. He is within us, there is no doubt. Andariki Shri Hare Antaratma, Hare Antaratma, Shri Hare Antaratma. Undikada Sahityam, Annamaya Sahityam. So he says, Andariki Shri Hare Antaratma. He is Antaratma, there is no doubt. But that Antaratma also stays in an abode called Vaikuntham. So we have to believe in the gati of the Jivatma. The Jivatma's leaving of the body and going to an abode if it receives moksham. So the third is Yetavanasya Mahima. Can you talk about his greatness? No, he is beyond our Vachamagocharam. Atodjayagascha Purusha. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. Tripadasya Divi. His Vaikuntham is so great. So there is a belief in the Vaikuntham within the Vedas. Next. Tripadurdo Udait Purushaha Padosyeha Bhavat Punaha Tato Vishwang Vyakramat Sashananashane Abhi. Now, in the first few mantras, when Purusha is described, he is Purusha who's Paravasudeva. Then next level, he comes down in 4 forms. Vyuha Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Sankarshana is for dissolution. Pradyumna is for creation. Aniruddha is for sustenance. So in the first few mantras, Purusha, the word Purusha indicates Paravasudeva. Next few mantras, it talks about Aniruddha Narayana who helps sustains the creation. Next, Tasmad Virada Jayata, Virajo Adhipurushaha, Sajato Atyarichyata, Paschat Bhumi Mathopuraha. The way he creates the entire world has been described. I spoke about Mahat, Ahankaram, then we had three kinds of Ahankaram, Satvika, Rajasa, Tamasa. Then we had creation of the Panchabhutas, Panchatanmatras, Panchagyanendriyas, Panchakarmendriyas, Manas. Then we had the distribution of them as 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1, which is 21. So all that will come now. Yat Purushena Havishaha Devayajnamatanvata. Vasanto Asyasidajyam, Vasanta Rutu. So it is not a typical yajna that you see in the temples or houses. It is about Srishti. Srishti has been envisioned in the form of Yagam. So the spring season, Vasanto Asyasid Ajyam. Ajyam is ghee. Very good. Next, Virajo Havisha Vasanto Asyasid Ajyam. Grishma Idmaha. What is Grishma? You're all experiencing it? Idmaha. Okay, we are in Idmaha is sticks, summit sticks. Next, Sharad Havihi. We have got the season, the autumn season. Sharad Havihi, Havis, Prodasham. Next, Saptasyasan Paridhayaha. Trisapta Samidha Kritaha. Trisapta. So when you take up Trisapta, first you have to deal with Saptasyasan. So there in Saptasyasan, you have got 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. Correct? Right. So you எப்பவோ சொன்னது சார் இதெல்லாம் போய் சிறுபிள்ளை தனமால இருக்கு 2 plus 2 plus 2 because the seventh one will have only one. Which direction is it facing? East. Why? There is sun there. Correct. So there is 2 plus 2 plus 2 north, west, south 2 2 2. I'm looking like a cephalogist now. So north, west, south and east there is one. Now there is also sun there. So put together Saptasyasan Paridhayaha, Trisapta Samidha Kritaha. 3 Sapta is 21. So that is how I told you 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1. Now if you are not following, don't worry. I'll go to these are all of the first 3 lectures. Then Trisapta Samidha Kritaha, Devayadhyagyan Tanvanaha, Abadhanan Purusham Pashum. From Paravasudeva we came to Aniruddha Narayana. Now the Purusha is Brahma. In what form? Goat. Now he is tied to the sacrificial post. That is how Abadhanan Purusham Pashum. This Pashu, this when I say goat, now you may say why is it Pashu? Pashu has both meanings. Pashu is a generic word. Any 4-legged animal is a Pashu. There is also a proper noun called Pashu, which is the cow. Here it means the goat. So, Abadhanan Purusham Pashum, before sacrifice, Tanyajnam Barhishif Praukshan, you sprinkle some waters. Purusham Jatamagrataha, Tena Deva Ayajanta. Devas are watching. Who are the Devas here? Very good. Nitya Suris are watching. Deva Yajnamatanvata, Tena Deva Ayajanta, Sadhya Rishayaschaye, Tasmad Yajnat Sarvahutaha, Sambhrisham Prishadajyam, Pashugastagas Chakre Vayavyan. So aerial creatures, those which have teeth on lower and upper jaws, they are all created. Pashugastagas Chakre Vayavyan, Aranyan, wild animals. Gramyascha, domesticatable animals. Ye, Tasmad Yajnat Sarvahutaha, Richasamani Jagnire. Then knowledge comes in the form of various Vedas. Richaha, Samani, Jagnire. You have got Rig Vedam, Sama Vedam and Yajur Vedam and so on. Chandagumsi Jagnire Tasmat. There is prosody as well. Yajus Tasmat Ajayata. Next, Tasmad Ashva Ajayanta, Ekecho Ubhayadataha. Ubhayadataha, teeth up and low. Gavo ajagnire tasmat jata ajavayaha yat purusham yadaduhu katidhavya kalpayan. So now the Purusha starts creating the others. Then comes the biggest problem, human beings. Next, mukham kimasya. Then Vedam itself asks, from that Purusha, Brahma has been created because Aja has become now Brahma. Brahma now creates. From the first it is Brahmam. Now Brahma. There is a world of difference between Brahmam and Brahma. Remember this. I even gave you the simple shlokam. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guruhu Sakshat Param Brahma. So first line it is Brahma, second line it is Brahma. In Purusha Suktam, first it is Brahma, secondly it is Brahma. This Brahma, what does he create? Mukham kimasya kaubahu, kavuru pada uchyete. Next comes the most important statement for all of us. Brahmanosya mukhamasit. Comes the Brahmana. Bahurajanya kritaha. Kshatriyas come. Uru tadasya yad vaishyaha. Padbhyagum shudro ajayata. Hell will break loose now. That's all. Right. Now I have given a detailed explanation for this. It is portable on the YouTube. Please do listen. Those of you who have missed the previous sessions, do not worry. We have 12, 13, 15 parts to it. Half an hour each. If you listen to one part every day also, within a fortnight, you'll be able to complete the portions. Now, all this has been explained. Why Brahmana first? Why Shudra at last? Does it make Brahmana superior to the Shudra? Why was Shambhuka killed? Who are the Acharyas who are not Brahmanas? Can Brahmanas celebrate non-Brahmin Acharyas? Are non-Brahmins, do they bequeath knowledge? All this has been discussed. Next, Uru Tadasya Yadvaishyaha Padbhyagum Shudro Ajayata. Next comes Chandrama. Now it is easy. Chandrama Manaso Jataha. Chaksho Suryo Ajayata. So the eyes became the Chaksho Suryo Ajayata. Now between the eyes which resemble the sun came Surya Tilakam. A few days back. Right? Chaksho Suryo Ajayata. Mukhadindrascha Agnischa. When he opens his mouth, you will have Indra and Agni. Pranad Vayu Ajayata. Vayu comes from his very prana. Nabhya asid antariksham. Now all that we discuss, Nabhya, the Nabhi gives rise to antariksham. She or Nabhi is equal to antariksham. Shishno dyauhu samavartata. Whatever you see above is Shiras, his head. Padbhyam bhumir dishashrotrat. The directions are his ears. Dishaigalayum padaitavane yavarum adivananga aranganagar tuindravane. See, the moment you take the Vedas, left, right, you will get one reference from Ramayana, one reference from Bhagavatam, one reference from Purandaradasa, one reference to the Alvars. Because they all studied the Vedas and the message of the Vedas is what you see in their composition. So there will be a correlation everywhere. So he says, Padbhyam bhumir drishashrotrat tathalokagum akalpayan. So whatever I have discussed in the last 4 mantras becomes one shloka. Bhupado yasya nabhihi vyadasura chandrasuryau cha netre karna vashaha shirodyauhu mukhamapidahano yasya vasteyam abdhihi antastham yasya vishvam sura nara khaga go bhogi gandharva daityehi. See, we discussed bhogi go, all that gavo jagnire tasmat. So Chandra Surya Ucha Netre, Chandrama Manaso Jataha Chaksho Suryo Ajayata. Ramayanam Vishwamitra says, Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam Ramam Satya Parakramam. Purusha Suktam says, Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. Exact correlation. That is why Ramayanam, Mahabharatam, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Upanishads, Vedas, they are all interlinked. So it depends on which angle you are seeing it. Veda nabhya asid antariksham shishnodyav samavartata padbhyam bhumir dishashrotrat tatha lokagum akalpayan vedahametam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasastu pare sarvani rupani vichitya dhiraha namani kritva abhivadanyadaste dhata purasta tyamudajahara shakraf pravidvan pradishascha tashraha tamevam vidvan amrita iha bhavati nanya pantha ayanaya vidyate. Whoever realizes the karanam tu dhyeyaha. Remember this line very importantly. In Vedanta Vicharam, this line is important. Karanam tu dhyeyaha. Always meditate upon the karanam. That is what Vedam says. Karanam tu dhyeyaha. Meditate or do dhyanam on karanam. Who is the karanam? Now, for example, my father and mother are karanam to me. Can I meditate on them? No harm. But how long can I keep meditating? So there should be a repository of qualities which should be beyond replenishment. As you keep using them, you should keep getting more of it. That is called as karanam. So karanam means cause, but what does this cause mean? Causeless cause. He should be the cause for everything and everyone. but he should not have a cause. Karanam tu dhyeyaha. Do dhyanam on the karanam. Tameham vidwan amrita iha bhavati. If you do dhyanam on him, if you want to attain him and do an upaya varanam means performing a means to reach him. Nanyaf pantha ayanaya vidyate. Vedam says there is no other way, there is no other way. Yajnena yajnamayajanta devaha. Tani dharmani prathamanyasan. Tehanakam mahimanas sachante. Yatra purve sadhya santi devaha. How many mantras are over? 18 mantras are over. Now there are 6 more mantras which come as an appendix to Purusha Suktam. I will describe that and then move towards Shri Suktam from now on. So the appendix 6 mantras are Adhyasambhutaha Prithivyayi Rasacha. Adhyasambhutaha, from whom the Brahmandam has come. See, Brahmandam, simple meaning, if you go, it will say cosmic egg. Now we will think, I know this egg, that egg, what, ostrich egg, chemo egg, what is this egg? Brahmanda means creation. Whatever you see around is Brahmandam. Adhyasambhutaha, whatever you see around as creation, Prithivyayi Rasacha, alongside Prithivyayi, Prithvi means earth. What is the previous Panchabhuta to Prithvi? Water. So Prithivyayi Rasacha, that which you can taste and smell. See, these are the two things. In COVID, that was the problem. See, one of the symptoms was you can either smell or taste. Both are very important. Naturally, the food itself is like that. You don't have to assume it is COVID. But at times, food will be good, you cannot taste. Then only you say there is this pandemic. Correct? Similarly, Prithivyayi Rasacha. So, water and earth. Very important tattvams. Water, we have realized its importance in the last 2 months. So, Prithivyayi Rasacha, along with the creation of Brahmandam, there is the creation of these Panchabhutas. So, there is an Antargatam.
I'll be rendering discourses in New Jersey, Boston, Maryland, Pittsburgh, and then in St. Louis and Indianapolis in the month of July. I'm sure you would love to share this message with your friends and relatives.
Dear Astika reader, I'm happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.